Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm making my predictions for the 2019 edition of Survivor Series. A card that currently has 8 matches and is scheduled to go for 6 hours counting that 2-hour pre-show on the WWE network. We should be in for a long night live from Chicago. With the inclusion of NXT this year, it's thrown a little bit of a wrench into how this will work this year, and we'll see how things go. Will it be a dominating performance by one brand like last year with Raw winning pretty much every match, I think, except one that was on the pre-show that they decided not to count? Will the scoreboard come back into play like last year? But who knows, so we'll get right into my predictions for the 2019 edition of Survivor Series. So we'll start things off with our first of 5 multi-brand matches, with this being the triple threat between all the mid-card champions, with AJ Styles, the US champion, representing Raw, Roderick Strong, the North American champion, representing NXT, and the Intercontinental champion representing SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura. I feel like this is a good match to start off the card with these 3 being very big hard hitters, and we'll see Nakamura and AJ lock up one more time. With the inclusion of Strong here, should make for a pretty good match. I feel like this will come down to 2 people. It's between Shinsuke Nakamura and Roderick Strong to me. With Roderick Strong, the thinking is they want to build NXT to be bigger so they will stop losing this Wednesday Night War, which they have finally won this week with the whole invasion angle beating AEW. But I feel like Shinsuke Nakamura is the one who needs this win the most, and SmackDown will get on the board first, winning this triple threat match with Shinsuke getting the win here. I feel AJ has a bunch of credentials in the WWE that makes him look good enough that he won't need to win this. Roderick Strong's part of the Undisputed Era who's been dominating in NXT, and that'll make him look fine. But Shinsuke Nakamura's kind of been in this weird spot. He's in the exact same spot actually that he was in last year, being in the mid-card title match here at Survivor Series. I feel with Nakamura getting the win here, this will give Sami Zayn something to brag about on Nakamura's behalf on SmackDown, so he was the guy who started it for SmackDown and at least got SmackDown on the board, more on that later, to where he can say Shinsuke is the heart and soul and the guy of SmackDown because he got on the board and maybe got them their only point of the evening. So now on to match number 2. And match number 2 will be our first of the Survivor Series elimination matches, this one being the women's one, with Team Raw, who has team captain Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan, taking on Team SmackDown with their captain Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. And with NXT currently as TBA, my predictions for their team are Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, Mia Yim, and then for the 5th, I feel like it's more than likely going to be Dakota Kai with a decent sleeper on Alexa Bliss. My thinking with Alexa Bliss being potentially the 5th member of Team NXT is that she's never been the NXT Women's Champion and she could potentially go back down to NXT. I know this would be kind of a messed up trade on SmackDown's behalf if they lose Alexa Bliss then, but it seems like she's been off the road for a long time and could be burned out kind of like Finn Balor was. And what did Finn Balor do? He went back to NXT and he's kind of revitalizing what he's been doing when he was on the main roster. He's redoing it in NXT, being a heel though. So I could potentially see Alexa Bliss heading back down to Full Sail and taking on this new persona in NXT, but I feel like she'd be the long shot for the 5th member. So with the teams that I currently have listed, I feel like my pick to win here is Team NXT. If we just see how loaded the NXT women's division is, we have Rhea Ripley, who I think is going to get the win for her team the night before at War Games, Candice LeRae, who's had great matches, Tegan Nox, who's coming back from an injury, who's been really good, Mia Yim, who's been doing good and had an NXT Women's Championship match, and then Dakota Kai, who could turn on the team and make this prediction completely wrong because she was mad about not being in War Games. But I feel like with this show, WWE is going to try to make a statement that NXT is bigger than what people are watching it at. With them being facing AEW every Wednesday, I feel like they could be potentially set for a Raw-like run on this show. Not a complete like 10-1 or whatever it was run, but at least they'll probably win the night. I also feel if this was like a video game and everyone had overall ratings, that Team NXT would have the best average overall of the teams, and that's another reason I think they'll win, and I think they'll get the NXT night rolling with the women getting the win here. So now on to match number 3. And this one will be our tag team triple threat, which will feature the Viking Raiders representing Raw, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era of Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the NXT Tag Team Champions representing NXT, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions of the New Day, Kofi and Big E, representing SmackDown. Now this is my boomer bust pick of the night, where I feel like either they're going to definitely get the win or they're going to be eating the pin here, and my pick to win this tag team match is the Undisputed Era. I feel like Fish and O'Reilly will keep the NXT train rolling here, getting the 2nd win for the brand of the evening, and I feel like they'll do this because if we've seen this whole invasion, I'm pretty sure the Undisputed Era at least has had 2 people been there every single time, and I think Fish and O'Reilly only missed the initial night, and I feel like Fish and O'Reilly will definitely try to build off that momentum they had aside from Wednesday having a hell of a match with the Revival getting the win there, and I think they'll supplant themselves as the best tag team in WWE here, beating the Viking Raiders and the New Day, more than likely pinning either Kofi or Big E. So now on to our next match, which will be our 4th match of the evening and our first of 3 world title matches, and this one being for the new Blue Universal Championship, featuring The Fiend Bray Wyatt defending his Universal title against Daniel Bryan. This is my lock of the night. Bray Wyatt will retain the Universal Championship here with relative ease, I think, beating Daniel Bryan. I don't think The Fiend should lose for a long time, a really long time. He just got over that debauchery that was kind of handled and then fixed against Seth Rollins to win this Universal Championship, and I feel like a match with Daniel Bryan will have everyone forget about this whole Rollins nonsense and make The Fiend back to what he was before the whole Rollins debauchery happened. So now on to match number 5, which will be our 2nd title match of the night, and that will be for the NXT Championship, which will see Adam Cole defending his title against the winner of the triple threat from the night before, which my pick is Pete Dunne. I feel regardless of who the winner of the triple threat is, Adam Cole will retain the NXT Championship here. The way NXT is built feels like it's around Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa on a collision course for a match at a takeover for the NXT Championship, and I feel like it won't be derailed here at Survivor Series with Adam Cole retaining, beating Pete Dunne after they reignite the rivalry for one more night, probably having the match of the night. So now on to match number 6. Match number 6 will be our 2nd and last triple threat between all the champions of one division, this one being the women's division, which has been some people's main event pick, but it will feature Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, facing Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, and NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. I can see each person in this match walking away with the win. I feel like Bayley can get the win with Becky and Baszler just beating the hell out of one another and Bayley scooping up whoever was left standing to get the win. I see Baszler getting the win because she's been the dominant force in this whole women's invasion part, where she's just been hitting people from behind and been making a statement each and every night during this whole Survivor Series build. But my pick to win is Becky Lynch, getting Raw's 1 point as of right now of the evening. I think Becky will get Bayley to tap out here, keeping a potential Becky-Baszler match still in the works with Baszler not taking the tap out here. I think WWE will have an easy thing built in here to have Baszler not win, saying she was just beat the hell the night before at War Games, which they could use for all these NXT people. But I feel like they'll definitely hammer it home the hardest if Baszler doesn't win here. And I think Becky will carry this the best, where she'll just talk about how she's the best women's champion in the whole company, leading into her next rivalry on Raw, where she'll defend her title. So now on to match number 7, our co-main event of the evening. And this will be our last title match of the evening, and this will be a no-holds-barred match for the WWE Championship, and we'll see Brock Lesnar defending his title against Rey Mysterio. I think this no-holds-barred stipulation was thrown in there to have people think, oh, Rey's definitely going to win, the no-holds-barred's going to play into his advantage, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think Brock will retain the WWE Championship here. Rey will put up a hell of an effort, as we've seen with smaller guys taking on Lesnar. That Finn Balor had a hell of a match, Daniel Bryan had a hell of a match, Seth Rollins had a hell of a match with Brock, and I think Rey with this no-holds-barred stipulation will definitely have Brock on the ropes before probably doing some diving maneuver into an F5 and getting pinned 1, 2, 3. Now the reason I'm picking Lesnar here is just every time I think he could lose or probably should lose here, he just doesn't. I don't really understand how WWE thinks Brock Lesnar. Like, he makes him this giant beast and probably build him up for someone else to beat him down the road, and Rey Mysterio will just be just like a hunter, another head on the wall here for him, and just another piece on Brock's path of destruction, probably leading to WrestleMania, where he'll take on someone and more than likely lose, and just will restart this whole thing again come next year, where Brock will be taking on Dominic. So now we'll move on to match number 8, our main event of the evening, and this will be our men's Survivor Series elimination match, which will have Team Raw with their team captains Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Ricochet taking on Team SmackDown with their team captain Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, and Shorty G, with Team NXT currently having no one on there. My picks for Team NXT will be Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Donovan Dijakovic, and the Velveteen Dream. So Team Ciampa from the night before at War Games with their captain, Uncle Paul, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H. I feel Triple H should be the 5th man of Team NXT. I just feel like it makes too much sense here. As we've seen in Survivor Series past, they're not worried about putting figureheads on the teams for the Survivor Series matches. We've seen Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon being on their teams in the past, and I feel like Triple H makes the most sense to be the 5th man here. He's ride or die for the NXT brand since it's his, and no one else I really feel like makes sense to be the 5th guy on this, joining up with Team Ciampa. Finn Balor's kind of been this lone wolf, not Baron Corbin, but this lone wolf in NXT. Basically, he's just him. He doesn't care about NXT. He's not on a brand. He's just him. And I feel like Triple H trying to get Rollins and trying to get Owens on the team will definitely play into him being the 5th man on Team NXT here. With Triple H being the 5th man for Team NXT, I feel like Team NXT will win the night here and win this match, winning the whole show 3-1-1, with the men walking out victorious, with I feel like the remaining two being Triple H and Tommaso Ciampa, with Ciampa beating Rollins. I just feel like WWE is going to have a path here to try to combat this Wednesday Night War, with NXT coming in and winning the night, hoping that this will give them the ratings bump and they can leave AEW in the rearview mirror here, with NXT winning 3 matches of the 5 between all the brands. There's a part of me that I can see NXT winning each and every match on this card, beating Raw and SmackDown, but I feel like Fox won't be too happy that their show that they're paying $1 gajillion for went into a brand supremacy pay-per-view here and came up empty-handed. That's why I think Nakamura is going to win. And I feel like NXT and USA wouldn't be too mad about it because they have Raw and NXT. And this I feel like will be their idea to lead NXT to be higher up in the ratings and maybe just try to crush AEW here. So that'll do it for my 2019 Survivor Series predictions. Leave your predictions in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you like what I'm doing on this channel and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.